Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Ralph. Ralph is from California in the USA. So let's see what Ralph has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for reaching out.
So, tell me, how's your day going so far?
It's going well. It's my day off, but I also host a podcast, so I've just been like working on touching up some like final stuff on my episode and getting it out there. But yeah, it's been pretty productive today, aside from a few technical difficulties, but I'm sure you know how that goes, being a podcaster and creating content and all that. It's a little
Absolutely.
frustrating, but I mean, it's a passion project, so.
I mean, okay, so let's start the interview talking about your podcast. Yeah, it's called Scream Society Podcast. Yeah, so
Yes,
tell,
correct.
tell me a little bit about it, how the idea came along.
Oh my goodness. Well, it started out during the lovely pandemic that traumatized all of us. So, yeah, I believe it was like 2022 November, and I was just wanting to be creative somehow. As you know, like I think there's a lot of injustices going on in our world right now, and just a lot of like I like to call it like demonic stuff going on because it's so crazy. So I created this podcast to kind of be like a commentary on what's going on and give my 2 cents. I love being a critical thinker, and I think it's so important to have perspectives that aren't just always one-sided, but also, like I said, like battling those injustices, especially. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard here in America, it's a complete poop show right now. So we're just trying to navigate it. So I was like, let me host this podcast that I like to call my variety podcast from hell, where I talk about everything from Lady Gaga to true crime, paranormal, even. And also, if you haven't noticed my background over here, I am a huge lover of spooky and horror and just all of that. So yeah, that's what the Scream Society is. It's just like this big melting pot of chaos, if you will. But yeah.
Wow. Yes, I was checking your profile a little bit, your pictures, and I was like, my God, he's a big fan of horror movies for
Yeah,
sure.
I love it. Yes, I love it.
Tell me where you're from, Ralph.
I am from California. I was born and raised in, we call it the armpit of California, Fresno, California, which is like a lot of farming. It's like Central Valley. It's really hot here. But yeah, I actually just moved to Central Coast, which is a little more like breezy weather. So like Pismo Beach area. But yeah, that's taken a lot of getting used to. But I do like it better than the Fresno area.
Amazing. And beside your podcast, what do you do for work, for a living?
I sell soap at a actually a UK company, Lush Cosmetics. So yeah, I love to interact with people and connect and tell and help them with their skincare. But before that, I was a training store manager for a very popular beverage company that I don't want to really mention right now. But I was this training store manager for about 11 years, and then I quit because of a lot of, some of these businesses are just very unfair to their workers. And yeah, and I wasn't working for like 4 years. I did a lot of self-employment. I did a lot of content, and then that's how also the podcast was able to get created. So the whole Lush thing is fairly new, but I do enjoy it a lot.
Amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life, okay?
Absolutely.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend, full of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Let's do it.
Can I dance too?
Okay, so yes, you can always dance with me. So before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, you always can change, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Amazing. First question is, who are you most thankful for and why?
I would have to say my dad. It's been a really long journey with my dad. Not saying that we started out rocky, but yeah, I love the person who he is. He's a very generous, he's a very sensitive um person. He's always there for me. He was very supportive of my coming out journey. When I came out, I was 18. I'm 34 now. So yeah, he's just the best person, and I consider him my best friend. And like I said, he's always there for me, and he's such a good person. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so your dad is watching this interview right now. When you have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message, what would you say?
Dad, I love you so much. You're honestly like it's gonna sound cheesy, but you're my hero. You inspire me. Your generosity and ability to listen and just be so awesome all the time is so inspiring to me and inspires me to keep going and bettering myself. And yeah, obviously I love you, Dad.
Sweet, sweet. Tell me what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Biggest difference is my dad is very soft-spoken and I'm more aggressive when it comes to confrontation, which I'm working on. We're all a work in progress. But similarities, we do have the tendency to think of the absolute worst scenario possible, which is really bad
Mhm.
also. But yeah, I think I do get that trait from my dad, just thinking of the absolute worst in any situation. Yeah.
And you have brother and sister as well?
Yes, I have one older sister and one younger brother.
Beautiful.
So I am a middle child.
Next question, let's do it. Amazing.
This is
Okay,
great. I love this.
next question is, what's the best gift ever received and from whom?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Best gift I've ever received. That's a really tough one. If I want to connect it to being creative, I would have to say again, go back to my dad who really pushed me to go through with my podcast and start being creative to the point where I didn't know where, like, what tools I needed exactly, and he actually gifted me my first mic to get started. So I mean, that's from my dad, who I just said is like my biggest hero, and B, that's kind of what got the wheels rolling on the whole creative journey and allowed me to just come across a lot of great people like yourself and so many other talented creators. So yeah,
That's amazing. I think when idea just comes up and you have a support of your loved ones, I think that's a big plus. You know, you just feel like
absolutely,
for it, you feel safe, you feel like you just can go for it because they're gonna be on your back. I think that's the best feeling for sure.
absolutely.
Amazing. Cool. Next question. Let's do it. For the next question, so let's tell me a little bit about this fascination about horror movies. You know, tell me when there was the moment that you realized that you had this connection with it.
I would say I think I was about 6 years old. I mean, I was always really scared of everything. I was even scared of dogs as small as a chihuahua, those little small ones. And I think at the age of 6, my family had a barbecue and they all gathered around the television to watch this little movie called Scream. And I don't know. Just there was I was scared, but at the same time I was just also fascinated. And then it was this whole murder mystery and like just guessing who the killer was and all of this. It was so interesting to me and I was so drawn to it. And also there were scenes where it was funny, so I mean I enjoyed those. But yeah, and then just like there was this character running around like some maniac with a knife and a hooded robe, and from then it just like took off, and then I discovered all of the classics like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th. So all of that. And then as I got older, I've just sort of develop this appreciation for it because there's always some sort of societal like take or like a hidden message within these films that kind of mirror what's actually going on in real life. So I think that's what draws me to the genre. I do like a good romantic comedy, but my main preference is horror.
I
Yeah.
see. All right. Right. Next question is, what's something you always wanted to do but you're scared of?
Always wanted to do, but we're scared of. I am a big, like I said earlier, I have the tendency to always think of the absolute worst in any situation.
Wow.
So I think going to Italy was probably one of the biggest steps for me as far as like getting on a plane because again, I love the horror genre and there is also a different film franchise called Final Destination. So that's always in my brain. And then I was on the plane. It was my first plane ride, first long plane ride. And yeah, and then from then on, I've been into like traveling. I was just in the UK last year, and it was great. And
Wow.
Hawaii and just all these cool places. It's cool to see like how different parts of the world like run compared to like where you're just from. But yeah, I would say that.
What was the highlight of your trip to Italy?
Italy, oh my gosh, the food. The food is just amazing and the people are so just like they treat you like family.
Yeah.
Um I'm Mexican, so it was very similar to how
Ah,
our culture is
right.
around food and all of that and just it was so good. And I love bread. Bread is my biggest enemy, so um I would say that part of it. Yeah.
I love that. I love what you just said. Bread is my biggest enemy. I love.
It really is. Yeah, bread.
When you
Yeah.
think about yourself, when you analyze Ralph, what's the best joy of being? What do you like the most about being yourself?
I like what I like now, and it's something I've worked on a lot, is just having more self-confidence. And I love that I can carry on a conversation. I love that just being more confident and calling out things that aren't right that most people would probably be afraid to call out.
Right.
Not in like a rude way, but just like in a way to where if something doesn't sit right with me, I'm gonna say something. So I do admire that about myself, although sometimes it can get me into trouble a little bit, but um, I think for the most part, I always have good intentions.
And you always been this way, Ralph?
No, I was not always this way. Growing up, obviously there was a lot of bullying going on as being gay. It's that was always a struggle. I talk differently. My mannerisms were different than a normal boy. So yeah, I was bullied a lot and a lot of ugly things were said to me. So I kind of like tensed up and got in like this little shell. But as I got older, I was just like, no, like I'm not gonna take any like BS from anyone and um speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself and just fight for like what's right. So yeah, it's I would say like my mid 20s is when I started to become more outspoken.
I see. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, would you ever get a tattoo and what that will be?
Oh my gosh. So I don't have any tattoos and it's been on my list, but I think it's just really hard to like choose something as your especially your like first tattoo, right?
Yes.
Um, because it's permanent. So I mean, I think the most obvious thing people would expect is to say to get something like a knife or like a ghost face or something, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that route. Um, I would say, have you seen the show or heard of the television series? It's from the 90s, Charmed by any chance? It's about
No,
three
not.
witches. No, okay. Well, it's about three witches. There's like a symbol. It's a triquetra, and from my understanding, one of the interpretations is mind, body, and soul. So I think I would probably get that as my first tattoo. It's like a very spiritual and like beautiful symbol. So I think I would say that one, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I don't have any tattoo either. However, the older I get, I start considering. But as you said, it needs to be something meaningful, something that you're not gonna regret, something that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be there, and you're gonna look at it and go like, oh, it's a reminder or something nice about ourselves or something that connects with something. Totally
Mm-hmm.
understand.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Next question. Let's do it. For the next question, as you mentioned about being Mexican, yeah. So my question for you is: Did you were you born in Mexico, in being raised in the U.S., or you were born in the U.S. Your parents they are from Mexico?
No, so I was born in California.
Mhm.
My parents were also born in California. My grandparents were, I think my grandmother was Mexico. So yeah, they met working in the fields and then they started a life in California and then the rest is history and here I am.
Did you get to learn some Spanish growing up as well, or not?
Unfortunately, no. That's probably the biggest downfall. I wish I did. My grandma, I can just hear her right now just saying like, "Why don't you learn Spanish?" Like, but no, like it's it's really hard for me for it to like stick. I do understand some of it and I have decent pronunciation of some words, but I actually should start working harder to learning the language since I mean it is my native language. So yeah.
I see. Okay. Next question is: What makes you very sentimental?
Sentimental. Um, like I said, probably like just like media, like movies and television shows and like
Mhm.
I had just mentioned that television series Charmed, that's one of my favorites because it takes me back to a time when I was a child and I would watch it with my grandmother who helped my dad raise me and it just brings me joy just to have those memories of just sitting there as a child watching it with her and her making her little comments and stuff like that. But yeah, I would have to see just like there's different movies and like and film and television that just bring back those memories of either being together with family or having a good time with friends and that's like really what movies and entertainment is really all about aside from giving messages. I just think it brings people together and you can have all these beautiful memories.
Do you cry easily?
I'm sorry?
Do you cry easily?
Um, do I cry easily? It takes a lot, actually. No, I don't know, because sometimes I'll just be watching like a YouTube video, and I think I was watching this one. It was like a debate channel, and they were asking children how they would feel if they lost their parents, and there was this little girl who was really close with her dad, pretty similar to like my situation, and she just started crying, saying how she would be really sad if he were to die, and I think stuff like that like really gets me. But like in movies, actually, I'm lying. I do cry easily because
You cry.
I cried in during Wicked, the film
Yeah, yeah.
that just came out. So yeah, during the whole dancing scene, and I shed a few tears there. So yeah,
I
I
love the way
cry.
I love the way you answer. You start, no, no, don't cry easily.
And then I'm like, wait, no,
I,
wait, actually.
I love it. I love it. Three questions left. Let's do it. Okay. Next question is: Would you swap lives with for a day if you could?
Hmm, excellent question. Swap lives with for a day. Um. I have to think about that one for a little bit. Swap lives for a day.
For any
Uh,
reason, for any reason, maybe to see how they live their lives, maybe to see how they think the way you don't think at all. You know what I mean? It could be for any reason.
okay, I have one. I would probably say my dog because do you have any pets?
Not right now. No.
No, okay. I have two dogs and there's you know how like life just gets so busy sometimes you're like
Yeah.
being pulled in a million different ways and just like looking over at my dog even right now just laying there having the best time just sleeping all day and resting and eating and that's pretty much it so I think I would want to be my dog for a day because no worries no responsibilities just lounging and having a good time, sunbathing, and yeah, yeah. As
What
cheesy as it probably sounds, I would probably say my dogs.
what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your dogs?
They love unconditionally. Love unconditionally without any like biases or any judgments. They love hard, and that's all they're put on this earth to do is love.
Totally. Two questions left. Let's do it. Okay, before the last question, tell me what's the biggest joy for you for running your podcast? What do you like the most about it? And the flip side, what do you find most challenging about it?
The podcast, what I love the most about it is right now is my ability just to have creative control, and it's so there's something very liberating about just putting your voice out there. I know for a lot of people it could be scary and challenging, and when I first started, I actually just rebranded. I used to be the Scream Queer podcast, and that podcast was just very messy and all over the place. And then I got more serious about it, and I rebranded to the Scream Society. And I think I'm really proud of how high quality it sounds, because I do put hours into it as far as like sound design and all of that. And on the flip side, I would say I wish there was a faster way to do all of that, because it is very time consuming. And um,
Yes.
one of the biggest things I'm pretty sure you've dealt with too is just algorithms. I think that's probably the most annoying challenge being a independent creator. A lot of these podcast studios don't really push their smaller creators like they used to. I think
Uh-huh.
it's all about, the biggest celebrity podcast. And I think people like you and I think there's more value that could be said from and heard from our podcast that people can take away. But yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge, is just getting your work out there to be seen. Because yeah, it takes a
Yeah,
lot.
hard. Yeah,
It's really hard.
totally. Great. Next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever done for you?
The most beautiful thing someone has ever done for me. I would probably say, mm, that's a good one, because I'm so grateful for everything that I have and for the people. But I would probably say, um, one of a few of my friends, they've actually have shown me how to be more affectionate, like just as far as like hugging and expressing my feelings more openly. Because like I said, I used to be kind of like a really sheltered person because of insecurities. And yeah, and I this new group of friends that co- I've come across within the last like 3 to 4 years, they've just like really taught me that it's okay to let your guard down and just show love, and just yeah, embrace each other and have a good time.
They are good friends for sure, Hoff. I can believe it. They are very good
Yeah,
friends to tell you that for sure. What's your
yeah.
star sign in astrology?
I am a Leo.
Like July, August,
My birthday is in August
August.
8th.
I see.
Yes. Can you tell that I'm a Leo or no?
No, no, because when you said about insecurity, I will think about something else. But Leo, actually, they what I know about Leo, they like to be in charge. They like to control things. They like to kind of, and for you, your podcast does very well because you kind of, you're in charge of everything. So it's,
Yeah.
I understand. Amazing.
Yeah.
Last question. Ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Wait, last one. But before the last question, as you are horror movie lovers, let's see. One day you're gonna take a plane to Europe, yeah? And for some reason, they have a problem on their TV thing, and you just can watch one movie over and over again for the whole trip. The good part is you can choose a movie. Yeah, there's gonna be just one movie available, and you can choose it. So which movie would you choose it?
Mm, there's a lot. I would probably say, and this is gonna be so obvious, but Probably Scream 4. Not the original, not the second, not the third, but Scream 4. I
And
have a lot of emotional attachment to that particular film.
why is that?
I think I was going through a really hard time. I had just been broken up with, and it was like 2011, and just
Uh-huh.
a lot of stress at work. And then I went to see that movie, and I was like, this movie is so awesome, and I had a good time watching it. And like when it came out on home media, I just watched it over and over as like as bad as it sounds, a bloody movie is my comfort film. But
Love it.
yeah, Scream 4 got me through a lot of sad, lonely nights. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
That's
Last
so
question.
dark and twisted, I know.
No, I mean, I think movies we connect with. I love movies as well, and I think we connect with them. It doesn't matter. Could be a random movie, but it's just because it means something for us at the time of the
Mm-hmm.
period of our lives, the message behind, or the actors,
Mm-hmm.
could be anything that we connect.
Mm-hmm.
I understand your point.
Absolutely.
Last question is, what hurt your feelings?
What hurts my feelings? The truth. As much as the truth hurts, it's something that I believe we all have to listen and hear one day. And yeah, the truth hurts my feelings. So sometimes when I'm being like too much and my friends call me out, they're like, "You're being a," and I'm just like, ouch, okay. And my feelings do get a little hurt. I get, like I said, I'm a Leo and I get wounded pride, but I think
Yes, you
being
do.
called, yes, being called out though does help you better shape yourself. I don't know why I can't word that properly, but yeah. Yeah, I think being called out does help.
You said that I could see a friend of mine describing himself exactly. He's a
Oh
Leo
my
as well,
gosh.
describing himself exactly like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult. They want to be in charge. They want to know what they're doing. They don't like to be told off. I got it. I get it.
Yes, it hurts. Yes.
Okay, not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay.
Okay.
Let's start with money.
Money, job,
Okay.
podcast. I don't know.
Fear.
Death,
Okay. Life.
stressful,
Sex.
um, hot,
Oh, religion.
subjective,
Family.
important,
Politics.
messy,
Love.
needed,
Friendship.
essential,
Desire.
difficult,
Regret.
useless.
Success.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm blanking.
Okay.
Success. Um, oh my God, coveted.
Wish.
Um, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Hopeful? I'm blanking so bad right now. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Happiness.
Oh, I already used words. Required.
One word for California.
Great.
One word for USA.
A headache.
Um, One word for horror movies.
Amazing.
That was very quick. And the last one is Scream Society Podcast. One word.
Did I already say important?
Could be any word comes to your mind.
Important.
Easy. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your dad for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, define Ralph in one positive and one negative word only, what he would say.
Caring and negative. A brat.
Oops. If you would ask the same question to your best friend, would be the same answer?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing.
Guaranteed.
Let's play now, Ralph, in the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before asking the question, people who they watch your podcast, what's something that would you like people to take with them?
Oh, definitely. I want everyone to walk away from listening to the podcast just to be more aware of what's going on around you, be more vigilant, truly educate yourself before reacting. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And just to be just more vigilant because there's a lot of creepy people out there too. And as far as like the true crime and all of the horror stories that get sent to me, there's a lot of really unhinged people and really scary I'm stuttering. Oh my gosh. Situations, sorry, I got blanked there. Situations that could happen and yeah, I think it's so important to, like I said, just know what's going on, and if something doesn't seem right, it most likely isn't going to be right, and yeah, just be aware of what's going on. Oh my gosh,
Amazing.
I'm like blanking. My brain is like going crazy right now. Sorry about
I,
that.
no, I love the message. I love it. And you're totally right. I think sometimes you need to watch out what's happening out there,
Yeah.
our surrounding for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask me a question now.
Okay, are you ready?
I think I am.
And it's going to be pretty obvious, but I am curious to know when I come across other creators is do it's like a two-parter. Do you enjoy horror films? And if so, what is your favorite scary movie?
Great question. I have the answer straight away. The first part of the question is I do. However, I'm always very scary. And I'll tell you, I could tell you so many situations that I was in the cinema that I was watching a movie with friends. And you know, those moments where those sounds come along and people get
Jump
scared.
scares?
I jump, I scream, and people start laughing around me because I always made like, this. I jump easily, and
Mm-hmm.
my hands start sweating as well because I
Oh
know
no.
when the silence starts, something's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's and I start to get nervous. So I
Mm-hmm.
do like it, but I'm aware I'm gonna, I'm gonna do a scene in the cinema. People gonna laugh. My friends are gonna, they love taking me to the cinema to watch those movies because they know they're gonna laugh because I scream easily. I kind of jump easily, but I like that. I like
Oh, so you're really fun to watch a scary movie with then. I actually love watching scary movies with people who have like big
it.
reactions like
No,
that.
it's fun
So,
for you guys, but for me, it's not fun at all because
oh
I
no.
feel
Do
embarrassed. I feel
do you like
embarrassed.
to go to like haunted houses like where they jump out and scare you?
I no, I don't. I don't go
No.
though
Okay.
because I get so nervous. I literally get into it, and the other part of the question is, this. I'm sure you know. The first one, Texas Massacre.
Oh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This one. Well, I'll tell you something. This
That
movie, when I
yeah.
watched it, I couldn't sleep properly. I was with a friend of mine, and he had the same reaction as well. Since sometimes we talk to them about it. So it's been for so many years. The first one, when I remember this scene when the guy is brought her down to this basement, and her nails like all the wall. I have this
Oh
scene in my
yes.
head, so it's one of my favorite because it made me scary. It made me, overthinking about afterwards. I couldn't relax. It stayed in my head for a week at least, like until I got rid of it, like for a moment.
Oh
I
my
was thinking,
gosh, wow.
yeah, yeah, it was a really scary. I don't know why about the movie, and my friend they agree with me because I cannot watch this movie again alone because it's there's something about it that was very
Hmm.
real for me that yeah, it became my favorite for sure because I was literally disturbed a little bit about it for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that film was very I call it an ugly film. Like I enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
just there's something about that's so ugly and like
I
very
know, I
gritty.
know. Yes, it's something
It's very
about it,
unsettling and
and very
yeah,
real as well. For me, it looks very real.
absolutely.
I was like,
Yes. Wow.
wow, that's I felt very real. Anyway, so yeah, that's for sure. And if I ask my friend, they're gonna tell the same as well because we was touched by, and sometimes we make joke
Yeah.
about the movie because it stayed in our mind for sure.
Oh
Amazing.
wow.
And
Oh
this one
wow.
behind you, this big monster behind you, it makes me laugh sometimes because I find
Oh
very,
yeah.
I love it.
No, yes. Sometimes when I'm asleep, I'll like wake up and I'll just be like, "Oh my God!" But then I'm like, "Oh, it's just my mannequin with the Ghostface costume." Yeah. But
I
no,
could
yeah,
do.
that's a good film, Texas
Yeah,
Chainsaw, and then the like loud chainsaw sound. It's
yeah.
like yeah, it's that's a really
It's
good one.
yeah, it's creepy. Did you enjoy the interview, Roth?
Thank you.
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet and kind and accepting my invitation. And it's amazing
Absolutely.
to to hear people talking about their passion, and it's so beautiful to see you talking about the horror movies because it's looking your profile a little bit. I could see those those pictures you full of blood and everything. I was like, my God, that's a thing here, very interesting. I almost
Oh
took one of
yes.
your pictures for the thumbnail, blood. I always took one of those for the thumbnail, but I was like, no, maybe it's too
Too
much.
scary. Too
It's scary.
scary for yeah. That
Before
makes
you
sense.
go, before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yes. Can I look on my phone really quick? Because
You
I
can look,
actually
yeah, of
got one for you.
course.
Let's see. So this one is something I stand really strongly by. This one says, and it's by unknown. It's like when you're on Instagram and you're scrolling and those like little quote
Yeah,
accounts
yeah.
come up. So this says the only people who get upset about you setting boundaries are the ones who were benefiting from you having none. And yeah, that's just really important to me, um, especially being someone who used to be a people pleaser. I want people to understand that you can say no. It's okay to say no. If
Totally.
something's not fulfilling you, say no. I'm not saying be a monster and just be rude, but I think with some balance, having boundaries is so crucial.
Totally.
So yeah,
And I think it's freedom when you learn to say no. It's feel free. It's a free thing for sure. Great.
absolutely. Awesome.
Look,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Regards to your dad and your friends, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a
Take
great
care.
day, okay?
You
You as
too.
well. Bye. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.